Guys, what is up? This is Matthew Davis, me once again. Welcome back to another movie review, aka After I Saw. This time it is going to be on The Northman. Now, The Northman involves this man named Prince Amleth, who is on the verge of becoming a man when his father is brutally murdered by his uncle, who kidnaps the boy's mother. And 2 decades later, Amleth is now a Viking who's set on a mission to save his mother, kill his uncle, and avenge his father. Now, this film comes to us from Robert Eggers, the director of both The Witch and The Lighthouse. When I saw The Witch for the first time when it came out in theaters, I really enjoyed it. I didn't love it as much as the critics did, but after multiple viewings, I appreciated it a lot more. I love this movie now. The Lighthouse I thought was even better. This movie made it to number 3 on my best movies of 2019, and I still stand by that. This is an amazing movie, and now we got this film. This movie stars Alexander Skarsgård, Nicole Kidman, Anya Taylor-Joy, Willem Dafoe, and a lot of big-named movie stars. This is by far his biggest project to date. This movie cost around like $75 to $90 million. That's quite big of a budget, surprisingly. And unfortunately, I don't feel like this movie is going to make nearly as much money as I would like because I don't know. I mean, this is a movie that's going to fly under a lot of people's radar. I mean, this movie wasn't super well advertised, but yeah, and all that is a real shame because this movie is another phenomenal entry in Robert Eggers' library of movies. First off, the performances. Everybody is completely invisible in this movie. I cannot tell that they were acting. Performances, they were all phenomenal. They are easily what kept this movie going. Their characters, I thought, were very interesting. The way that the main character, played by Alexander Skarsgård, interacts and stuff like that. It is all absolutely perfection right here. You know, Willem Dafoe, despite the fact that he's not in the movie that much, Anya Taylor-Joy, I think there's a new trademark with Robert Eggers, and it's a visually stunning movie, okay? I mean, this movie looks $90 million, it feels $90 million, it truly does look and play like a big budget movie. It's amazing too because it kind of is like in the same style of The Witch a little bit. In fact, there are times where it does feel like a Robert Eggers film. I feel like he has a really great trademark here, and the way he tells his story, I mean, it does play out like it's just another revenge tale, but really, it does a lot more than that. The movie has a lot of different twists and turns, and there are times when I kind of felt like it was a murder mystery a bit, and it combines a lot of elements of horror and fantasy adventure and drama, and it all blends into one. Like, there are times where this movie can get really scary and really tense. Like, it kind of does play out like a horror movie a bit, and the last 2 films Robert Eggers made were horror. Although Lighthouse isn't as horrific as most other horror movies, I do intend that to be a horror film because there is stuff that goes on in this movie that does make it play out like a horror movie. What else? I mean, the movie is completely unpredictable and it is very brutal too. This is by far his most violent movie, and it combines elements from, like, I don't know, Green Knight and other fantasy films, and this doesn't feel like a regular fantasy film. There's just so much stuff that goes on in this movie that it's really hard to make out, and it's really hard not to spoil here. And the movie, despite the fact that it is pretty slow at some parts, the movie never felt boring. I felt like the story was compelling enough and the characters were interesting enough to keep the movie engaging for me. And I wanted to see what was going to happen at the very last act, which I'm not going to spoil for you, but it is crazy, let me tell you. Though it is a little bit anticlimactic, I do feel like it was very satisfying in the end. In terms of problems I do have with the movie, I guess it would have to be some of the logic that happens. Brief spoilers, by the way, but there's like this one part where an arrow is jabbed in a guy's throat, and he says his last words, and he's able to speak clearly and even yell, even though he has an arrow in his throat, and that doesn't completely kill him. Something else does. And I mean, the main guy starts off as a kid and it's set years later. It doesn't say how many years it's been, but I'm thinking to myself, what did this guy do the whole time? I mean, he went from a kid to being an adult. I don't know. It just left me a bit confused. But that's basically it. I mean, the rest of the movie, it was outstanding. In the end, guys, The Northman is another work of art from Robert Eggers. It's visually stunning. The performances are absolutely phenomenal. It's a different take on revenge. I definitely feel like there's some originality and fresh takes in here that Robert Eggers has done, because I feel like Robert Eggers is very good with originality, and there's a lot that this movie has to offer. Even if it doesn't seem like it's going for an original take, for me, I feel like it truly does. And I highly recommend checking this one out. It's going to fly under a lot of people's radar, and that's a real shame because this movie is not a Marvel movie or a DC movie or a Star Wars movie or Fast and Furious. It's not an entry in a big franchise. These are the films that I look forward to the most. While, okay, we're getting another Jurassic Park movie, that's cool. But these are the films that I anticipate way more. And other films like Nope, I'm way more looking forward to those types of movies. And this movie certainly did not disappoint. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I am going to be seeing The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. And some people have asked me if I was going to see The Bad Guys. I don't see a whole lot of modern DreamWorks movies because they don't really appeal to me. I can make an exception because I actually am a bit curious about The Bad Guys, but I'm going to review Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent first because I'm looking forward to that more, and I was looking forward to this more, but hey, I just reviewed the movie, so that doesn't matter anymore. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Ward out.